A billiard ball, armed to the teeth. That uniform looks a little big on him. It gives that psychopathic comical appearance. I'm afraid the brightest thing about this guy is the flashlight hanging from his belt. This pig is watching the street with all the tranquility and indifference his impunity gives him. The more I learn about this new world, the more I'm convinced those bastards don't have human blood running through their veins. But what terrifies me even more is that they do. And in abundance. Following its trail, I see that's where the cable that crosses the street ends. The one with the 3 streetlights hanging from it. One of the guards is resting his foot on it. Great idea. Should I just ask the animals in uniform to please get away from the panel so I could poke around in there? The only light source for the area is hanging from this wooden post, and the tangle of cables and shoddy connections up there speaks eloquently of the quality and condition of the installation. This enormous construction tarp hangs from up there like a stage curtain, covering half the street. I guess it's a vestige of one of the few reconstruction jobs that were started in the city, just after the Great Wave hit. Someone put this empty tin can on top of one of the trash cans. Up close, it looks like there are crumbs of dried food stuck to the bottom. No matter what you might think of the state of the city, these trash cans are practically empty. I guess generating garbage is a real luxury nowadays. 3 huge lights struggle to illuminate everything they can with their precarious electrical system. They actually seem to create more shadows than light. It reigns over the building with its crown of twisted antennas and broken air conditioners. On the rim, there's a shiny object. Although at this distance, I can't make out what it is. The fire escapes on the building extend down from that rooftop. I can't stop my eyes fixating on that gleam of metal I see on the edge. What the hell could it be? They crisscross the building facade from top to bottom. And from what I've seen, this system of staircases is used only on the oldest buildings in the city. In the old world, this building would have already been condemned and demolished as a ruin. But in the new world, it's got to be one of the best preserved I've seen in the city. Those 2 pigs seem to be watching that entrance very intently. They probably pumped me full of lead before I got a chance to turn the doorknob. More of the shattered glass that constitutes the window dressing of most of the city's stores. Despite the thickness of the glass, the Great Wave must have crushed it like paper. Great. The sign that shows the name of this place is burned beyond recognition. What was this place before the Great Wave? Beechwood Oracle, maybe? Burnt paper. The whole place is full of it. Hey, wait! One of these posters has a photograph of Reverend Blake on it. The Beechwood Oracle Bookstore invites you to a reading of The Annihilation of Time, where you can meet the book's author, Edward Blake. That explains why that deranged preacher had the card from this place in his pocket. On the other hand, I no longer have the slightest doubt as to the name of this establishment. They're what's left of the cinema section. Only a couple of biographies survived the fire. Let's see, Dario Argento and John Carpenter. I don't have a good feeling about the deep red of the cover. I'm not going to take one. In better times, they must have been overflowing with literature. Now they look like the aftermath of one of those book burnings in the old days that maybe aren't as distant as they seem. A copy of Heart of Darkness, with practically nothing left but the cover. I don't need to look through these pages. I've already seen the horror out there. In better times, they must have been overflowing with literature. Now they look like the aftermath of one of those book burnings in the old days that maybe aren't as distant as they seem. It looks like only some of the loose boards from the shelves survived the fire. Ray Bradbury, H.G. Wells, George Orwell, Philip K. Dick. This shelf must have been part of the science fiction section. Although I suppose that after the Great Wave, it would be more fitting to move them to the current events section. No, I doubt there's anything in these stories that could surprise me. Dystopia. Could be the city's last name. This screen doesn't look any better than the rest of the place. The fire turned it into a glob of plastic and glass, and there's nothing left of the computer it was connected to. No, computers are a deplorable waste of time when the hardware you're trying to use got wrecked in the Great Wave. The sign says, "Emergency exit, Beechwood Oracle Bookstore. Do not block." Well, it seems that in spite of the warning, this door is indeed blocked. I don't think I'm going to be able to open it that way. 4 wooden boards, somewhat charred. Unfortunately, that's all I was able to rescue from the shelves of Beechwood Oracle. Judging from the traces of food, I'd say that this can was being used as a bowl to feed stray cats. In a city of ruins, only someone acquainted with one of these animal lovers knows that they're capable of things like this, and much more. The sign says, "Emergency exit, Beechwood Oracle Bookstore. Do not block." Well, it seems that in spite of the warning, this door is indeed blocked. Doesn't look like it's going to be complicated to open this door with a crowbar. Done.
Hey, wait a minute! Who the hell's over there?
I don't see anything.
Look at that building! I saw something moving in that shadow on that wall!
I think you're a little paranoid tonight. I told you to relax. Come on, take a deep breath.
Shut up! I bet it was one of those cats! All this is because of those pestilent beasts that have been bothering us since we got here. I couldn't stand them!
I better not let those 2 psychopaths down there see me. I should be very careful.
Hey you! What are you doing here? Didn't you hear the curfew warning?
Relax. Look at his wrist. He's got a mole bracelet.
So you're one of those domesticated rats? You people disgust me. At least the rest of the worms at the camp have some dignity. But you guys, the moles, you're nothing more than a pack of treacherous stool pigeons.
No doubt, I have a great paragon of dignity before me. My hatred for these pigs has only grown. And more so since the incident at the camp entrance with the mole's children. Ruthless bastards. I just want to ask you guys a few questions. Do you know what the establishment was before the Great Wave?
I can't say I do. I lived on the other side of town. But judging from what's left, I'd say it looks like it was a bookstore. Looks like it burned down to the ground after the Great Wave.
Well, I for one am glad that nest of bookworms was destroyed. I never liked books. They always were a total waste of time.
Is that right? At first glance, I would have taken you for someone with refined literary tastes.
I think that description fits you to a T.
Watch your mouth, you dirty rat! And don't think that bracelet would protect you. I could blow your head off without batting an eyelid. Don't forget who's in charge here.
Why are you posted here?
Just following orders. Rat, we're here to protect and serve the inhabitants of this city. That's our mission.
Yes, I can see how the people feel much safer with you around.
We're doing our nightly rounds, and we have orders to keep a particular eye on this neighborhood.
And why this neighborhood in particular?
Well, as you can see, this area of the city was left almost intact after the Great Wave. It was kind of a miracle. Most of the homes and businesses are still standing, so burglary attempts are pretty popular. If there's anything left in the city worth guarding, it's here.
You ask a lot of questions. Have you come to steal something, rat?
No, of course not. With officers of the law like you, I'd never dare do anything like that.
I wouldn't provoke my partner too much if I were you. He's plenty jumpy today, and he's sometimes rather unpredictable.
And as for you, blabbermouth, I'd watch my tongue if I were you. How I am is nobody's business. And you, get back to your nest, rat!
So how's the night going?
Very quiet, except for a shooting at the entrance to the city a few hours ago. I think someone tried to steal some food. And when that happens, you have to act decisively. That's our duty.
It would be a fantastic night if it wasn't for those revolting cats. This damn neighborhood is infested with them.
Cats?
My partner doesn't like cats, and tonight they've been howling non-stop since we started our rounds.
Filthy creatures, dirty and pestilent. They're to blame for everything.
I won't bother you anymore. Keep up the good work. Okay, I'll use the can to avoid touching those disgusting fish with my hands. I filled the empty can with the rotten fish from the fountain in Suicide Park, and now it stinks. It stinks to high heaven.
There you are, you mangy beasts! So you dared to come out, did you? Now I've got you! Ow! Goddamn revolting cats! Sooner or later I'll get each and every last one of you! I promise you!
Don't get mad. Your technique's improving. You almost got one this time.
Shut up!
Now I get it. This is the system that controls the amount of current that reaches each of the streetlights.
What the shit? Why does nothing work right in this filthy city?
Looks like a voltage surge. Suppose you think the cats are to blame.
Shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you. I'm not letting those flea-bitten beasts out of my sight. No chance, mate.
Hey, wait a minute. I've seen this place before. I've been here. I recognize this rooftop. Those trees, the park, the statue. Tomorrow comes today. Of course, the photo from the poster. It was shot from someplace in this very building. But what's the meaning of all this? And could it be that the voice wasn't actually trying to lead me to that burned out bookstore down there, but rather to this building, to this place? A ton of useless objects are piling up in this corner. Nothing interesting. I guess that's the reason the neighbors left them here. It's an empty, rusty bucket. Part of all this junk left behind. So this is the gleam of metal that seems so interesting from down there? What a disappointment. These benches, fountains, and statues are in a ramshackle condition, whereas the vegetation in this park is almost completely recovered since the catastrophe. Well, if that proves a failure as a species. It's a sculpture from my poster. Maybe it was an allegory of happy fatherhood, until the great wave turned it into a depiction of Saturn devouring his children. The blades of this contraption must have stopped turning months ago, And I don't think doing without it is the owner's biggest problem right now. From what I heard, all telecommunications collapsed in the catastrophe. It seems like it took the Great Wave only a few seconds to turn all of our technology into scrap metal. The front door of this apartment has been reinforced with various locks and bolts. Despite the surveillance by the soldiers, the people who live in this building must be terrified of burglary and looting. There's a metal plaque on the wall next to the door. Michael Argent, photographer. I can't believe it. This is the apartment of a man named Michael, an apartment located above the Beechwood Oracle bookstore, and in the building where the photograph on the poster was taken. Can all this really be a coincidence? It's hard to believe, but is it possible that the voice in my head has been guiding me to my own front door? There's a piece of paper stuck to the door, and it looks like it has a handwritten message on it. Let's see what it says here. Who could Sarah be? And this Chris, could he have something to do with the person I saw in my vision? An ordinary wooden door, one that's a whole lot less ostentatious than the neighbors. It's all scratched. Looks like someone tried to pick this lock and didn't have time to finish the job. Maybe he was caught red-handed by a pig in uniform. Did one of my neighbors call them? Of course, it's locked, and I think it's better if I don't try to pick the lock. I could be mistaken for a burglar, and the last thing I need right now is for someone to call the guards patrolling this area.
Isn't it time for you to go back to your nest, rat?
That ignorant bastard is starting to get on my nerves. Yes, I do have to be going. By the way, how did the chase go? Were those cats too quick for you?
You'd better go. It's not in your best interest to get my partner any more agitated. Not tonight.
You shut your mouth, you rat, or I'll shut it for you! I won't warn you again! Those beasts are possessed, and I'm going to exterminate them, one by one, with my bare hands if I have to!
I'm sure that would make you the pride of the force. Just one more thing. Try to stay away from the trash cans next time.
I've warned you, you filthy rat! You've worn out my patience! Ow! This'll teach you to treat me with a little more respect! I'm going to wipe that stupid grin off your face! Ouch! This is the only language you shitheads from the refugee camp understand! So, you're going to treat me with respect now, aren't you?
Come on, leave him alone. You'll kill him. He is a mole after all, and it's in our interest to keep him alive. Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, you're safe for now. But I have a very good memory for faces. Another day, I'll finish what we started, rat. I swear it.
These stains mark the spot where that bloated psychopath knocked me down with his flashlight. Now I can say I've made my mark in this new world. Wait a minute. In all that blood, there's something white. It's a fragment of one of my teeth. That pig must have left the flashlight on the floor after hitting me, and then forgotten it there. An army flashlight. And of course, I suppose it doesn't have any... Yes, it has batteries. And it works. Huh. Will this change my luck? A reminder of my clash with the soldiers, in case my memory fails me again. A cleaning bucket. Empty and dented. Nothing else remarkable about it, except that unlike most of the abandoned junk in this city, it still works. Okay, here goes. I'll turn on the flashlight before going down any further. Great. These tunnels are a real labyrinth, and I'm afraid that the map on the cleanup brigade's GPS only shows the city at street level. There's no reference to the sewers in the GPS. I'd better turn back before I get lost. This could be very dangerous. Before I go down, I'll leave the heavy stuff here, in case the rope doesn't support my weight. Okay, I'll use the bucket for what it was designed for, to be filled with water. I'll get my stuff. Awesome. So now I have a bucket full of dirty water. Oh, it's clear that things are getting better by the minute. Here goes. Maybe we can still salvage something from the fire. Now that the fire is out, I don't intend to carry this rusty bucket around anymore. I'll get rid of it. Burned remains of clothes, books and toys. That's all that's left of the bonfire Rod lit. The head of one of Colin's dolls is sticking out of the charred mess. It sends shivers down my spine to think that this hunk of plastic belonged to little Colin. It's a sinister image, considering the boy's fate. I'm not proud of what I'm about to do, but I need to find out that secret Rose is keeping from me. And if she wants her baby, I'll give her back her baby. I've brought you your baby, Rose.
Did you bring me my baby? Did you bring him? Thank you so much, Mr. Sleepyhead. You kept your word. You brought me my baby. Now I need you to bring me a crib, like the one in the picture, Mr. Sleepyhead. And then I'll tell you the secret, the key that opens your chest of dreams.
A crate made of flimsy wood, lightweight and spacious. I think it needs a little more work. This doesn't look very much like a real cradle. I'm afraid even Rose would agree with me on that. Let's see. I'll use the rusty nails to attach these two objects together. With the rusty nails, I've been able to attach the wooden crate I found in the cleanup brigade's closet to the boards. So now I have a crate with wooden legs. And a carpenter I'm not.
You've brought me a cradle for my baby, Mr. Sleepyhead. But it's no good. It's not like the one in the picture. There's no rocker, see? So the cradle won't rock. I can't rock my baby to sleep. Bring me a cradle like the one in the picture.
Okay, don't worry, Rose. I'll keep looking. From the mother's hairstyle and outfit, the photo looks like it comes from some magazine from the 50s or 60s. Besides, I swear that these rocking cradles went out of style a long, long time ago. Let's see. I'll use the electrical tape to join these two objects. The bad news is that I just used up all the electrical tape. Using tons of imagination, we can say that I've built an improvised and primitive cradle. Oh God, it's horrible.
Thank you. Now I can rock my baby to sleep and sing to him.
Now I need you to tell me that secret you promised to reveal if I brought what you asked.
Yes, our secret. I have something that belongs to you, Mr. Sleepyhead. It's the key that opens your chest of dreams. And now, it's yours again.
But it's a real key. Where did you get it?
I found it in your jacket after Rod and his wife gave me your clothes. When I got to my room, the key fell on the floor and made a clinking sound. I had just seen you sleeping in their trailer, like a big bear. And then I figured it out. It was the key to the chest where you were keeping your dreams. Because you like to dream, don't you? Of course you do. That's why your name is Mr. Sleepyhead.
The key that opens my chest of dreams. Thank you very much for your help, Rose. Take good care of your son. I should be going now.
No, please. Don't go. Don't leave me here. Now that I found my baby, I have to get away from here. Far away. I have to get away from the haunted castle. If you leave, more men will come and hurt me, and they'll lock me up in the dark again. And I can't stand the dark. That's when those soldiers come back and take me with them. And now they'll want to hurt my baby, too.
The hunter was clear. I mustn't get mixed up in his affairs, or there'll be hell to pay. I'm sorry, Rose. I can't do anything.
Mr. Sleepyhead, I can't stand it anymore. Don't let them touch me again. Please help me. You have to get me out of here. Like the knight in the stories. You're my knight, and I'm your princess.
Oh, good God. This is unbearable. Victims and executioners. That sums things up. And what was I? What was my role before the Great Wave? Damn it. I can't just leave that poor girl to her fate. I have to do something to save her, even if I don't know what that is yet. I'll help you, Rose. I'll help you get out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Sleepyhead. Do you promise? Will you be my knight in shining armor?
Yes. It's something that belongs to you, and it's from before the Great Wave. That's what Rose said. The key that opens your chest of dreams. Let's see if my intuition is correct. Yes, the key that opens my chest of dreams is a key that in fact belongs to Michael Argent, photographer. The key to my own apartment. The outside of this closet is covered with photos cut out of magazines and newspapers. It looks disproportionately huge in this tiny apartment. Wow, a classic model of that famous brand of instant cameras gathering dust on one of the shelves. Inside, there are dozens of compartments for cameras, lenses, and bags. But they're all empty. It's strange. There's not a trace of photographic material in this closet. It's the backdrop I used for the photography I did at home. It's hanging down from that wooden beam, held in place with screws. No, I'd only rip it if I tried to pull it down without first taking out the screws. Whoever designed this building didn't go to too much trouble to conceal the structural elements. There are pillars and wooden beams all over the place. A line of tiny screws holds up the white backdrop that hangs from the crossbeam. This must be the corner where I did my least complicated photographic jobs. Just a white backdrop and these two shattered lamps to light the scene. As dry and as empty as the contents of my memory. I see various liquor bottles scattered around the room. That explains the odor I find so unbearable. It's exactly the same view of the park and the statue that appears in the photo on the poster. No doubt this must have been one of my simplest and most lucrative jobs. I completed it without even leaving the house. A shelf full of photos, discs, and dozens of books in every imaginable size and color. This must be the repository for a big chunk of Michael Argent's personality and tastes. The corner of a photograph peeking out of this old music box.
It can't be. It's me. This photo. I remember it. I remember this photograph.
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it.
And this woman she's Emily. She's my wife. Now I remember her. The person who's been communicating with me all this time. Emily.
I love you, Michael.
And I now pronounce you.
Don't ever leave me.
I won't.
I have something to tell you, Michael.
Are you really? Oh, yes!
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see. It's all your fault.
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
Shut up! Shut up! Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach? When we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise. Oh, Emily, what does all this mean? Where are you? How can I find you? What are these messages you keep repeating in my head? I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. That's the only logical explanation for this. Oh, Emily. My poor Emily. Where are you? How can I find you?
This melancholy music makes my hair stand on end. I seem to be hearing the sad voice of Emily in every note. Where are you? How can I find you? It's the note I found on the door to the apartment. Alexander Tribune. That's the name of this newspaper. Now I understand. This file cabinet holds copies of newspapers and magazines my photos appeared in. It seems like as a photographer, I was very fond of my own work. Although it refers to a newspaper office, I don't see any address in this note that I can search for with the GPS. Union Country Messenger. The title of this publication appears on the front page. Today Progress, one of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. The New Truth. That's the name of this newspaper. The New Truth. The newspaper for those who have woken up. It looks like a decent publication, even though it was produced on a shoestring budget. The address of the office is at the bottom of the first page, and the article on the front page is under the byline of one Chris Blunstone. course. The letters TNT on the letterhead of Sarah and Chris's note stand for the newspaper, The New Truth. I'll enter the address of the newspaper office shown on the front page. The map indicates a place near the main avenue of the city. Will it still be standing? Let's go find out.